Yeah, welcome to today's class. Good evening and welcome to the day 2 of this program. Now, today we are going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. Our yesterday's class, we were introduced to HTML. We talked about HTML, the tags, differentiated between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And we showed the use cases and examples, right? And we started writing out HTML tags. That's where we stopped. So now we're going to continue. Um, so let me pull up my PowerPoint slide. Let me see. So we've done all this. Okay. Useful tools, basic tags and element. Okay, good. Now I say we're going to continue with the tags today. So let me just open up my VS Code. Right? So there's no need of much explanation. So yesterday we looked at the heading tags. We said these are used to bring in bold text to the web page. We looked at the 1 to 6. We looked at paragraph. We looked at divs, right? Then under div, we said a lot of things can be in div. A div can have a paragraph, can have a link, can have an image, right? And also we talked about each arrow and b arrow, right? Now, normally if we want to open our project, so let me just demonstrate this. I will right click, I will copy part. Is that not so? After copying part, I will go back to my browser and I will paste this. Now after pasting, this is what I will get. But now I want to introduce us to an extension that will help us instead of copying and pasting and reloading page. So there's what we call live server. So that's what we're going to be making use of today. We're going to be installing live server. So how do you install extension? So I will show you, and I will come back here and ask a question if you get what I did. Okay. So let me go back to my VS Code. Now this is my VS Code. If you want to install an extension, I already have it installed, so I'll just show you where to get it. Now, like I said, this is used for extension, this 4 box. If you check your VS Code, you see it. So if I click on it, I will type the name of the extension I want to install. So by the time I click on this, it's just to come to this search bar, then type live server. So just to type and search. Let's see what this will give to us. Mm, why is it doing like this? I already have it installed. Coming. Okay, I already have it installed. No need to stress myself over here. So this is it. So this is live server. I just check for it and install it. Right? So the other extensions I also want
Are
to.
you sharing your screen?
Oh, you can't see my screen.
I can't see anything.
Jesus, I've not started sharing. I'm sorry. Let me just share. Sorry about that. Let me demonstrate this again. You see my screenshot. Okay. So this is what will happen. Let me demonstrate it again. So now pay attention. Let me just close this. Close this. Now, if you want to install the extension, this is where you come. Remember, I told you this is Explorer, Search, Source Control, Debug, and this is for extension. This 4 box. When you click on it, type the name of the extension you need over here. Make sure your data is connected. So for mine, I've already installed it. So just to click on it. When I click on it, it will take me to the page. You just to click install. For mine, it has been installed already, so I don't want to uninstall it. Okay, so is your system with you? I want you to try out the process. Is your system with you? Ah, Pascal, is your system with you?
Yes, my system is with me. I'm
Okay,
using it for
so
the
try the
class.
installation. So you install live
It's
server.
installed already.
Okay, you have it already.
Yes.
Okay, I also want you to install Prettier. Do you have Prettier installed?
Hmm?
Prettier.
Eh?
Do you have
Pre?
Prettier? Prettier is a code formatter.
No.
Okay, what will happen? Let's not waste much of the time. So what will happen is that you install Prettier after the class. Then I'll set it up for you before we begin the next class. So let's just continue. Now, let's go back to writing more tags. Now, I'm going to split my screen into two as usual, but then I'm not going to be making use of this guy again. I'll make use of my live server, right? So how do you make use of live server? You know it before. So for the sake of our online students, I'm just going to right click, then open with live server. So this will open up this in a browser. Can you see what I'm having? It's no longer this again. It opens a new browser for me. This is 127.0.0.1 colon 5500 slash index.html. Now this 127.0.0.1 is also what we call localhost. That's to say this is the alias for localhost. Don't worry, we'll get to that part. If I still come back here and do something like localhost alhost colon 5500 to still work. That's what I'm having to still work. Sorry. Uh, I'm coming. Okay, I'm supposed to say. Uh, I'm supposed to say local host. Let me see. Okay, can you see that it's working? Localhost colon 5500. So this is it. So if is it that I say 127.0.0.1 or localhost, both of them are the same thing. Now, let me close all of this. So let's continue with our tags. So we're going to be a little fast today. Now we've learned all of this. So let's learn the next tag. The next tag we want to learn is let's learn lists. Now, what are lists? Lists are used to bring out items in our web page, right? Now there are two types of lists in HTML. We have the OL and UL, right? Now OL stands for ordered list. It uses numbers. So let me say uses numbers, right? Then UL stands for unordered list. It uses bulletins and bars. Or let me just say it uses bulletins or bars. We'll see the different examples just now. Let's just put it this way. Then let me comment it. So what do I mean by this? Now, when we say list, a list must either be OL or UL. Are you following? Now, OL, like I said, it stands for ordered list. Now, if you want to create a list, you say OL, then this is the list itself. Then it must contain list items. So I'm going to say LI, where LI are the list items. So I can say rice. I can say LI again. I will say beans. I will say LI again. I will say spag. So by the time I save this, can you see what I'm having? Because of live reload, I don't need to reload my page. So by the time I save, you can see it's already saving on the web page. Now there's something I want to show you. Now I said only the LIs, which are the list items, they are the only things that have the numbers and bulletin. Are you following? If for instance I'm having h3 inside of this place and I say my favorite food and I save, this was happening. This is inside the OL, but it's not part of the list item. Are you taking note of this? The reason why I'm not putting this outside is because lists by default have a default padding. So you can see now that this my favorite food, it doesn't come with a padding by default. It's now starting from the edge of the screen. But by the time it's inside the list, if I save, you notice that it's on the same line with them, though it's not a list item. Even if I come up here and do something like this, li, and I say let me say yam and egg. If I save this, can you see what's happening? Because li is a list item, it takes a number, but h3 is not a list item, there's no number for it. It moves down to the rice and give it number 2, the beans number 3, and the spag number 4. So take note of that. So only the elements with li's that are the list item under ol. So take note of that. Now that's for ol. For ul stands for unordered list, right? So this is when I have things like if I say history and I say my favorite fruits, right? Now if I see li and I see banana, right, and I see I see mango, okay, li apple, I see li oranges. So if I save, can you see what I'm having? Now the difference is that this one is um OL. It is well ordered list. It uses one, two, three, and four, which is normal numbering. But for this one, this is UL, unordered list. It uses bulletin or balls. So please take note of that. Let me be sure we're following. Are you with me? Let me be sure we're following. Are you with me, Mr. Pascal? Hello, Pascal.
I'm with you, Pastor. You with us?
Seems like Pascal has gone to bed.
Go on, please.
Okay, the video is being recorded, Cha. So just in case, those that are watching from the website, they're also going to see it. So let me just continue. Now, I'm not using this again. So this is what I'm using. Now, yesterday, okay, okay. Is there anything I've not talked about yet? Okay, let's look at another element. So let's talk about the anchor tag. Now, the anchor tag. Okay, before I talk about the anchor tag, let me talk about button. Now, buttons are elements that are used to create events on the web page. We are going to see the use of button when we get to JavaScript later on, because now if I create a button, it will just be an empty button. It won't do anything. It will not be functional. So an example is when I do something like this, click me and I save. Can you see what I'm having? So this is the button. It has a default styling. It has a border, padding, and so on and so forth. So when I come, click on it, it doesn't do anything. Now the cursor of a button is an arrow. So as you can see, it has an arrow, unlike these ones, right? So take note of that. Then also, like I said this button is not functional. A button only does something by the time it's been attached to JavaScript or by the time it's been attached to JavaScript code. So an example of inline JavaScript I can do here is to do something like on click, right? Now I'll say I want this to alert something. I'll say hello Pascal. By the time I save this, come back here and click on this button. You can now see what it's saying. It's telling me hello Pascal. I close this, click on it again, hello Pascal. So please take note of that. So we've not got into JavaScript. So let me just remove this code. We don't need it. Now the next on our list will be anchor tag. And this is what we refer to as a link. You get, so link when I want to link between pages of my website or other website. This is what I use. Now if I come here, for instance, maybe I want to go to Facebook, you just will come here and say Facebook, right? By the time I save, notice that there is Facebook now, but by the time I click on it, nothing will happen. It will just reload this page, right? So take note. Now how do I make it take me to Facebook? Now the anchor tag has an attribute called href. Now one thing I like about VS Code is that when you hover past something, maybe an attribute or a special kind of element, to give an explanation of what that thing is. Now this thing is saying href contains a URL or a URL fragment that the hyperlink points to. So that's just what it means. This href is specifying where the link is going to. So I can do something like facebook.com. I don't know why I like putting this www.https. So let me just say https www.facebook.com. Though without this, it's still going to work. So by the time I click on this now, it will take me to Facebook. Now just see what is happening. It will take me to facebook.com. Why is this thing taking time? So as you can see, it's loading up Facebook for me. So that's what the link does. So let me say I have other links. Let me just add more links to this. Let me say Google. Let me come back here and change this to Google. Right? Google. Let me see. Okay, so you can see the Facebook now, right? Let me do something like Google. Why am I seeing Portable's picture? Let me just take Wikipedia. Let's give respect to Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. I so much love this site back then in JS too. When my geography teacher will give us an assignment, we ask us to make research. Wikipedia is where we normally fall back to. I'm the one. Okay, let me not go into the story. So that's for that. If I go back, you notice that okay, let me save this. These are the other links. Now you notice something. If I click on Google, it will take me to Google as usual. But now before I click on the Wikipedia, I want to explain something to you. Now there's what we call state of a link, right? There's what we call state of a link. I know we're going to see more of that when we get to styling and CSS, but this is what I want you to know. A visited link an unvisited link, that's to say a link that has not been visited, it has a blue color by default and it takes decoration of underline. If you can, as you can see, this Wikipedia, I don't think I visit Wikipedia today. You get, that's why it's still having a blue color and by default it has an underline, right? But if I have visited a link, that's to say um a visited link has a purple color and an underline as well. Now, if you look at this Facebook, I visited Facebook today before this class. That's why this thing is like this. That's why it's purple by default. Even this Google as well. Of course, Google is what I use in creating this meeting. So that link has been visited. That's why I have this as well. Then for Wikipedia, I don't think I visited this today. So the color is blue now. By the time I click on it, it will take me to wikipedia.com. That's it. Okay, good. It took me to Wikipedia. But now if I come back, the color will be purple, no longer blue. So take note of that. Then also, there's what we call the active state of a link. Now, what is the active state? The active state, it flashes real quick. It's that state that I call when I click on the link. Now, by the time I click on this link, I'm going to see a red color very fast. I guess you can see it. Just shine your eye very well. Let me see if I can make this a little big. I don't think I will open Facebook again. Facebook has a lot of stories to make me not to concentrate. What is going on? I don't want to go back. This thing is blocking it. So let me just go back. So now let me try this again. If you look at, okay, let me see if I can zoom this page. Good. Now by the time I click on the link, you notice that it flashes real quick. You see a red color. So I guess you guys could see it. Now there's something I also want to explain in links. This href, like I said, it specifies where the link is going to, right? So what you see on the front, or let me just call it front end, even though this is the front end. So what you see displaying on the web page is not the read. The read is what? It is this link, this hyperreference stuff that tells where the link is going to. So take note of that. For this now, if I should change this and put Facebook here and the href is pointing to Google, believe me, when you click on that Facebook, it will take you to Google. So please take note of that. So let's look at the href. Now, how do you now discover the href on the front end? That's to say, if you don't have access to the code, how will you know? Now, if you hover past a link, you will see a blue link at the bottom left of the browser. So for mine, this is it over here. Okay, it has gone out. So this, you see, look very closely. You see www.facebook.com on the blue. It has a blue background, so please take note of that. When I come to this place, you see www.google.com. Here you see wikipedia.com and so on and so forth. So please take note of that. That's how to know. Then now, okay, I talked about the state of a link. Okay, so take note of that. Then now there's what we call, what tag should I bring again? Let's talk about image, right? Now, what are images? Now, it is important to know that every website needs an image, right? Website makes your image very, very beautiful. Now, how do you add an image to your web page? There are different ways. So, the image takes an attribute of source and an attribute of alt. You can also add other attributes such as width, height, and so on and so forth. I'm sorry. Now the source specifies where the image is coming from. Like I said, when you hover, it will explain it for us. So that's not what I want to do. Now, if for instance I go to image, let me just say boy image, right? And I take this guy, such a cute boy. Let me take this one. Now let me see. Right click, open in a new tab. Now this is the link to this image. If I grab this URL and I paste it over here on the source, right? Now this is what I will get by the time I go back to my website. After reloading, this is what I got. So this is one way to bring image to your website. So just to grab the link, put it in the source attribute. So take note of that. Then this auth attribute, what does the auth attribute mean? The auth attribute is an alternative text that will show in case your image does not show up. So these are normally used for screen readers, or maybe there's no internet connection and so on and so forth. So if I come here and I say boy image, it should be descriptive. The alternative text should be descriptive. By the time I reload, sorry, the page is already being reloaded because of lifesaver, but let me just, Africa man. By the time I reload, you notice that there's nothing showing up, right? But if for instance I made a mistake while bringing this link and I save, you notice now that this thing is not showing up boy image. Now if there was no attribute, no auth attribute, sorry, control Z, if there was no auth attribute, what do you think will happen? It will just show something like this, but control Y again. So the auth attribute will show, telling us that, oh, there's supposed to be something there, an image, and what that image is representing, it is representing an image of a boy. So please take note of that. Then now, that's my auth attributes. There's something I didn't talk about while we were doing the anchor tag. So let me just go back to anchor tag real quick. Now this linking to other websites, right? I couldn't spell websites today. Then now let me talk about linking to different pages of your website. Linking to different pages of your own website. Remember, I would say the website is a collection of different web pages. Now let's say I have another page called about.html, about.html. Then now I add content on this web page. Then let me just say h2, or let me use h1. Let me say about us, and I save. Now what will happen if I come to the index, and I add a link to this? And I want to link between different pages of my website. If I add a link to this and I say href, you just to see about.html, no need for many stuff. So then I'll do something like go to about page. So by the time I save this, and I scroll down, and this is what I'm having go to about page here. When I click on it, it will take me to the about us page, right? So I can now go back. But now not everyone knows how to go back to this way. So the best thing to do is to, now I've visited it, that's why I changed from blue to purple, is to come back here and do something like anchor and say index.html. So this will say go back to index. So if I save, remember I visited the index page, so it's supposed to be purple in color. That's why you can see purple color. When I click, I've gone back. So just like that, click. So this is how to link between different pages of your website. I think somebody was about to ask a question. Okay, no question here. So let's continue. So that's for that. Now I want to talk about attributes you can see on links. So there are different attributes you see on the anchor tag. There's what we call the self, the blank, the parents, and one other one. So it's very easy just to come back here and say target. Right, so I have blank, parent, self, and top. So for now, let's just stick to the blank and the self. Now, what does self attribute mean? Self attribute means this is underscore self. It means it will open on that same browser, right? So what does that mean? When I open this web, or when I click on this link, the link will be loaded on this same browser. So when I click on Facebook now, it's loaded on the browser, right? So by default, the target attribute is set to self because if you look at this Google, I didn't add a self attribute, but when I click on it, it will open on this same browser. So by default, the target is set to self. Not only that, what does the blank attribute do? The blank attribute will open sorry, the target of blank will open a new window or a new browser for you. So that's what this one will do. So I've changed this from save to blank. So when I come back here and click on this, you can see it's opening a new browser for us so that we won't lose our website, right? So I can now come back. So take note of that. Now I want to okay, I want to just put this in. When you are linking between different pages of your website, there's no need of setting attributes. You get, because by default it is set to save. So you don't want a situation whereby when I click on about page to open a new browser, I click on this to open a new browser. So it's really not nice that way. It might make it so that our website will be slow. So take note of that. So always leave the target or set target to save when you are linking between different pages of your website. What if you are linking between other websites? That's when you set your target attribute to blank. Let me say I want to visit Facebook now, maybe to my Facebook profile of my business and so on and so forth. Or I want to visit Google or Wikipedia from my website. It's good to set the target attribute to blank so that it will open another new window. Um, I know this is kind of hard to take in, but just try as much as possible to follow, read the documentation, you get what I'm talking about. Who just joined? Let me welcome you. Let me see. Pascal. Okay, he left. So let's continue. Now, still on the image, like I said, sorry, that's not how I'm supposed to go. So still on the image, I'm going to okay, seems like we've missed the link. So let me just go back and grab the link again. Control A, Control C. Right, so let me put this inside of the source attribute, save, then let me go back to my website. Right, so you can see the image is showing. Now take note of this. Now it is not always advisable to load your image from an online picture or an online image. And something like this, if I'm building a real website, it's not advisable to do it this way. This is because you are not the one that added this picture to the internet, or this picture is not, it's really not your picture. Now for some reason or the other, the original owner or the person that posted this picture rather, might decide to remove this picture, and that will in turn affect your website. So it is better to always save the image to your computer first. That's to say, always download the image. So if I right click on this, I can click on save image as, and let me just save it to okay, let me save it to desktop. So I'll just call it images or jpg. Now all I need to do, I can locate it or just to drag it from here and drop it. So this is the best way to put an image. Always make sure you download the image. So by the time I come back here, I can now do something like this. img source is what ima images.jpg. So this is the best way to do it. Always make sure you download it locally so you can see the image is showing. Now I want to make my screen a bit bigger, not a bit bigger, I want to make it bigger. And let's observe some things. Now if you notice, when I was bringing in heading was here, the second heading took its own paragraph, the other one took its own paragraph, even the paragraph and the div, the list, which are the UL and LI, they took their own paragraph. But from the button to the links down to the images, you can see they are all on the same line. Now what does this mean? There's what we call types of elements, right? So elements can be grouped into two based on block level or not. So let me just come back here. I'm going to say block level elements. Let me be sure you guys are following. I still have Daniel, Pascal. Pascal, are you back?
Yes, I'm here.
Have you been following?
I'm yes, I've been following.
Okay, there was a time we called you. It seems like you were not here, or maybe your mic was not on. But
My
nevertheless,
mic was not on.
okay, nevertheless, just try and follow. Hope you've been getting what I've been doing so far.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I'll be getting it.
that's good. So let's continue. So let's talk about block level elements and inline elements. This is just 30 minutes. Remember, I said after 40 minutes, we're going to cut then given for question and answer. So let's talk about block and inline elements. Now, what are block level elements and what are inline elements? Now, block level elements are elements that takes up or forms their own paragraph. Let me put it that way. So, like I said, from our browser now, you can see that the headings, the divs, the paragraph, they are all block level elements, right? They take or they form their own paragraph. Let me put it that way. But the anchor tag, the button, and the image, these are inline elements. They don't form their own paragraph. You get? So that's for that. So that's to say by default, the display of these guys are set to inline, while by default, the display of these ones are set to block. Now, how do you know that is a block level element? One is that it takes up the full width. Like this heading one is taking up the full width of the browser. I know you can say, this is just heading one and there are six spaces there. Yes, it doesn't allow any other thing to come up there again. You get, so that's why it's a block level element. It takes up the full width. Why inline elements only take up the width of their content. Right, so how do you demonstrate this? Let me just say style. Hmm? If I target my H1 and I say background color to be red, now what will happen? Can you see that it's taking up the full width? Even if I make this big, you can see it's taking up the full width of the browser. Right? So an example of an inline element here is the anchor tag. So let me just target anchor. Now let me see background color red. What will happen? You can see that it's only the width of their content. That's what they are taking. So take note of that. So you can set their display to block in CSS. I can say display to block. So you can see now it's not taking the width of the browser, but that's not what we want to do. This is now our focus. I'm going to remove this. In fact, I'm going to delete all of this. So let's just give examples of block and inline. So I'll see examples of block level elements, right? Examples of block level elements. Now, we've already seen them, but I'll just list them. I have the H1 to H6. So H1 through H6, they are all block level. I have the paragraph, I have the div, I have the paragraph div. Okay, I have the UL, I have the LI, I have form follow this category table as well. Table takes up the own width. Then all HTML5 semantic tags. So we'll get to semantic tags soon, etc. Because these are not all of them, etc. Right? Then let's talk about examples of inline elements. Now, if I see examples of inline elements, now examples of inline elements are I have list, sorry, I have button, anchor, I have image. There's also what again? Time. Okay, I can't remember all of them now, but as we proceed, we are going to be seeing them. Okay, there's span, right? Oh, I didn't talk about the span before. In fact, there's UL, sorry, there's U, there's EM, which is for italics. Then there's also strong, which is also called bold. So let me talk about these guys, right? Let me talk about these guys. So let me say, for example, I have a paragraph and I say lorem, right? Now, what does this guys do? So span, let's talk about span. Now, if this is span, a span tag is used to target something separately. Now, if you look at this lorem ipsum dolor, right? If I want to style it separately, I can just come to the span. I'll do inline styling. I'll say I want the background to be red. So by the time I do that, this is what's happening. I want the color to be white. White. So that's what it does. Span is used to target something separately and style it separately. And let me just show you an example of where I use this. If you look at this website, right, this guy is inside the span tag. This one is also inside the span tag. That's why their styles are kind of different. The same thing here, span, right? Where is it? There's one place I used it, where I wrote one. I'm coming. Okay, good. This one, you can see that it's styled separately. That's inside his own span tag. So please take note of that. Then, let me make this. Okay, so good. Now that's for span. So you just use to lay emphasis on a word. So we can do inline styling. You can also do internal styling for that. Then what about the strong? Strong is what we call bold. In other versions of HTML, it's called bold, but in HTML5 it's called strong, right? So let me just use strong instead of bold. Now this will bring a bold text for us. I don't want to put it inside the span. So let me just call this guy. So span is separate. So strong. So by the time I save, this was happening. So my ipsum dollar sit is now bold, right? So take note of that. Then the em, which is for emphasis, or it's also called italics. So let me just put it this way. This is another example of the inline element. So let me just put these two. You can see this one now is now in italics format, or italics. Let me call it that way. It's an African guy, right? So take note of that. So I know you guys are surprised. I'm only saying as an African guy. Well, I believe there are people from other part of Africa or other part of the world that are watching this video, or that will watch this video. Let me put it that way. People from Canada, US, and all of them. So let's continue. Now, let me talk about the U tag, which is underline. Now, what this one is used for? It's used to bring a line under the text. You know what underline means? So I don't need to explain this that much. So as you can see, this one's having a line under the text. So please take note of that. So that's for the U tag. So this is span, U, EM for emphasis or italics, then strong for bold text. So take note of that. So these are examples of basic HTML tags. Right, as time goes on, we'll learn more. I'm supposed to add video. Okay, we'll add it. So now, there's what we call mark you, even though, okay, can't spell today. I say hello, mark you. So just watch what this guy will do. It's just a text that moves from left to right, like a simple animation. So you can style this separately, you can change the direction and so on and so forth. So take note of that. Then let's talk about videos. How do we add video to our web page? So I'm going to add a video to this, to my working folder now. So just to come back here, I'm going to desktop. I'm going to view. Okay, this is it. So let me make this a bit smaller. So let me just take this video and add it here, right? So the way to add a video is that you can do something like the video tag. Before we continue, I don't want this guy to always go down, so I'll just do something like this. Now this is not a part of the video. You get, it's just for my own. I don't want this guy to always be under, so I want to do something. I'll say style. Say padding 500 pixel. So good. Okay, that's too much. Let me say 100 pixel. Okay, good. So that I won't always be at the end of the page. So that's why I'm doing that. So um just 1 minute more for me to end this video. But now let me just talk about the video tag. So that when we come back, we'll look at form and images. So form and tables. So now what I will do is that I'll say video, right? Then the source will be html1.mp4. Remember the file extension for video is mp4. Now let me show you something. If I make this big, you notice that this guy is just overflowing. Now whenever you are faced with something like this, whenever you are faced with an issue like this, it's very simple. Now, how do you fix this? You can give a width attribute. So I can just come here and say the width should be 100%. Now watch what I'm having, right? Now there are some attributes that we add that will make this thing. If you look now, it's just like a picture. It's not doing anything, right? So I can come here, I can see attributes are autoplay, loop, controls, right?
So,
When I
testing 3, 2, 1. Let's get started.
can see that it's not playing,
Now, welcome
right?
to
So
Web
this is
Development class with the CES Academy,
so
right?
that's how
So,
to add a
like I
control to
said,
the web page.
we're
So that's for that. I can hear my own ugly voice. Wow, sounds interesting. So that's how to add the video. Now, what does this controls do? Now, let me remove all of them. Let me remove all of them so that I will explain them one after the other. Now, when I save, you can see there's nothing. So if I say control is actually what will bring those pause and play and so on and so forth. So
going
I
to
can just
testing
close it.
3, 2, 1. Let's get started. Now,
Yes, so that's what the control is doing. The autoplay. Remember when I save it, it didn't play by itself, or it's not playing by itself. Autoplay will make it play by itself, I guess.
to
Let's see
testing
what's
3, 2, 1.
happening.
Let's get started.
So without touching it, it's
Now,
playing
welcome
console
to
autoplay.
Web Development class
Then loop. You know
with
what
the
loop
CES
is to?
Academy.
Loop is to make something run again. So if I add loop to this, which I don't think I'm
To
doing so.
testing 3, 2, 1.
So what loop will do is that when the video ends, I think it's going to start again. Though I've not tried it out, so you can try it out. So take note of that. So that's that for basic HTML tags. There's still more to it. How to upload the PDF. It's very simple. Just to use the file tag, then take the source to be this. Remember, we can't teach you everything. That's why we're giving you materials, reference materials to go after. Maybe after the class, just try and read up one or two of them. Right. So I'm supposed to stop this video now, and then we'll continue with form and table. Let me see what the time is. This is 8:06. Right. So what will happen is this. I'm going to end this video.